Marcus Aurelius dealt with difficult people every single day. Senators who undermined him, generals who disobeyed orders, advisors who betrayed him, people who were incompetent, arrogant, and dishonest. He couldn't fire them all. He couldn't avoid them. He had to work with them, lead them, and make decisions alongside them. So he developed a way to handle difficult people. Not by changing them, not by controlling them, not by letting them control him, but by maintaining his own peace, regardless of their behavior. In the next few minutes, you'll learn the Stoic approach to difficult people and how to know when to stay and when walking away is the wiser choice. The Stoics understood something we often forget. You can't control other people. You can't make them kind. You can't force them to be reasonable. You can't change their nature, but you can control your response to them. And that's where your power lives. Marcus wrote this in his journal. When you wake up in the morning, tell yourself, the people I deal with today will be meddling, ungrateful, arrogant, dishonest, jealous, and surly. That's not cynicism. That's preparation. He was reminding himself that difficult people exist, and that he would encounter them, and that he wouldn't be surprised when he did. That preparation is the first step. Epictetus explained it another way. He said people act according to what seems right to them, not to you, to them. When someone is rude, disrespectful, or incompetent, they're not trying to ruin your day. They're acting from their understanding, their values, their limitations, and you can't change that. Seneca put it even more clearly. The best revenge is not to be like your enemy. When someone treats you poorly, you don't have to become like them. You don't have to match their anger, their pettiness, or their bitterness. You can choose a different response. You can't control their behavior, but you can always control yours. But here's what actually happens in real life. You have a coworker who undermines you. In meetings, they dismiss your ideas. They take credit for your work. They make subtle digs that everyone hears but no one calls out. And it gets under your skin. You replay the conversations. You imagine what you should have said. You feel the injustice burning. They're living rent-free in your head. You have a boss who's unreasonable, impossible standards, constant criticism, takes credit when things go well, and blames you when they don't. You work harder, you overextend yourself, you try to earn their approval, but it's never enough because the problem isn't your performance, it's them, and you can't fix them. You have a colleague who thrives on drama, gossip, passive-aggressive comments, playing the victim. You get pulled in, you defend yourself, you try to correct the story, and suddenly you're exhausted. Not from your work. From managing this person, you have a client who disrespects you. They talk down to you, make unreasonable demands, treat you like you're beneath them. You want to push back, but you need the job, you need the income, so you swallow it, and you resent it. Here's the pattern. Their behavior is controlling you, not directly, but through your reaction to it. You're angry, you're stressed, you're losing sleep. They have power over you, and the Stoics would say you handed it to them. You can't control their behavior, but you're letting it control yours. Here's the Stoic reframe. 3 practices. First, remember they're acting from their understanding. When a coworker undermines you, they're not evil. They're insecure. They feel threatened. When a boss is unreasonable, they're often afraid, under pressure, lacking emotional control. When someone creates drama, they're usually seeking attention or validation in the only way they know how. This doesn't excuse their behavior, but it removes the personal sting. It's not about you, it's about their limitations, and you can't fix that. Second, detach their behavior from your worth. Their opinion of you is not in your control. Their treatment of you says more about them than it does about you. When someone is disrespectful, you don't have to internalize it. You don't have to prove yourself. Their behavior belongs to them. Your worth remains yours. This is not cold detachment, it's clarity. Their dysfunction does not become your identity. Third, choose your response. This is where your power lives. When someone undermines you, don't match their pettiness. Stay focused on your work. When someone criticizes unfairly, state your position once, clearly, then let it go. When someone creates drama, don't take the bait. Stay neutral, stay professional. When someone disrespects you, set a boundary calmly and firmly. You're not being a doormat. You're choosing your battles. You're maintaining your standards regardless of theirs. But here's the most important distinction. There's a difference between staying and practicing stoicism and staying and tolerating abuse. You stay when the person is difficult but not abusive. When the situation still has value. When your boundaries are respected once you set them. You walk away when it's damaging your health. When your boundaries are repeatedly violated. When the cost to your well-being exceeds the benefit. Stoicism is not about enduring everything, it's about choosing wisely. Sometimes the Stoic response is to leave and maintain your peace. The question is, which choice protects your character and your well-being? Marcus Aurelius couldn't fire every difficult senator. He couldn't avoid incompetent generals, so he focused on what he could control. His response. He prepared his mind. He expected difficulty. He refused to let other people's behavior dictate his inner state. That's how he maintained peace while ruling an empire surrounded by chaos. You're not ruling an empire, but you have your own difficult people, and the practices still work. This week, try this. When someone is difficult, remember they're acting from their understanding. Detach their behavior from your worth, and choose your response instead of reacting. Then ask yourself honestly, is this a situation where staying helps me grow? Or is this a situation where leaving is wisdom? Either way, you keep your peace, you keep your character, because that is always in your control. You can't control their behavior, but you can always control yours. Focus there. That's where your power lives.